Hello, smart and profitable traders. Thank you for joining us here again on Victor Markets. We're going to be showing you how the fundamentals keep on affecting the general direction of the markets. Anyway, this is the United States dollar versus the Canadian dollar, and we're going to be showing you how the CPI once again affected this beautiful currency pair. Okay, so we're going to be showing you the previous two news releases, which was the 19th of September 2023 and the 17th of October 2023. That is when the CPI of the Canadian country were released. So we're going to be showing you with a 30 minutes time frame, because that's when and where you can make most of the profits, or you can also use the 5 minutes or the 15 minutes time frame and just reap those profits during that news release, and then withdraw, leave a little bit of those profits or money, and then continue trading after you've withdrawn the large chunk of your profits. All right, so I had to go to the abyss of nothingness here to look at, to search for the for the CPI, for the Canadian CPI, out of all this news releases. This was the one that I'm actually looking for, the one with 1 star. But do believe me, it is very important, as I have also looked on the Bank of Canada website just to confirm if that's the number I'm looking for. Then I clicked on it, and then I wanted to look for the two previous news releases, which was the 19th of September and the 17th of October. So we'll look at the first one here. You can see that the actual news release exceeded the forecast. Okay, as you can see, the actual news release was 4.0, whereas the forecast was 3.8. That entails a strength gain in the Canadian dollar. Therefore, we'd expect that this USDCAD would be a sell, since the Canadian dollar would be gaining strength. And as you can see here, the news release here in South African time was at 2:30. As you can see, this is the candle right here. Right here, this was the candle. Okay, so you would have gained profits right here if, let's say, for example, you put a sell stop, a buy stop here using this previous candle, a buy stop and a sell stop here. Then the sell stop would have been triggered and you would have made some profit right here, and you would have reaped some profits. Or if you wanted to leave it for a bit to the next candle, you would have also made some profits. But I'd always advise that you just leave it for 30 minutes, reap profits, and then leave some of the money and wait for some few confirmations and trade accordingly. Now, people would ask, why did this market reverse, even though the Canadian dollar had positive news release? It's because of the dollar has more demand than the Canadian dollar, obviously, and traders would want to continue buying more dollars than more United States dollar than the Canadian dollar. That's one for me. And here, if you can look at here, this was a supply zone right here. As you can see, it was a supply zone, as you can see, and this here, as you can see, it was oversold, and this is why we had to retrace and go to the upside, and also taking into consideration that the dollar is mostly more in demand than the Canadian dollar. All right, so now we go into the 17th of October 2023 news release of the CPI of the Canadian country. Right, now we're on the 17th of October 2023. As you can see, the news release, the actual news release, which was 3.8%, was lower than the forecast, meaning that the Canadian dollar would depreciate in terms of strength, leading to the United States dollar, Canadian dollar currency pair to increase in strength. As we can see here, the news release was at 2:30. The news release was at 2:30, right? And this is why we had a massive bullish candle right here. This is why we had a massive bullish candle right here. Okay. Now, as you can see, on this previous candle, this bearish one here, this was prior to the news release, right? You would put a sell stop here, right, and a buy stop here. So therefore one of them would be triggered. In this case, it was the buy stop, and there you have it. You would have massive profits gained from the buy. Then what do? You close that trade, you gain some massive profit in a few given minutes, and then from there you reap those profits, you withdraw, then you leave a little bit to continue trading. Now, some questions would arise as to why did we have some bearish type of retracement. There should be retracement in any, especially if there is a drastic move in any direction. But since the strength of the dollar was stronger, or the strength of the United States dollar was stronger than the Canadian dollar, this was just a retracement and nothing else. As you can see here, the US dollar CAD dollar continued to increase its strength to the upside. And also, the reason why there was a bearish retracement here, it was because there was an oversold zone printed on the RSI. Hence, there was a little bit of selling entering the market. But overall, there was more buying activity afterwards. That is why I said you should withdraw the huge chunks of your profits, and then just apply your indicators accordingly so that you can continue with the wave. So now we are awaiting the news release of November on the 21st, 2023. Alright, going back here, we see that the forecast is 3.2 lower than the previous, and if the actual matches the forecast, meaning if they are the same, being 3.2%, this currency pair would be bullish. But if it's higher, this would be bearish. And if it's lower than the forecast, this will also be bullish. And once you're done reaping those profits for that few minutes given, you can apply your own strategies and your indicators to gain or to continue being in the market. That is after the fact of withdrawing your profits. So let's say, for argument's sake, this is the candle prior to the news release. You would put your sell stop somewhere here, or let's say perhaps here, your sell stop here, and your buy stop here. One of them is going to be triggered. Let's say, for example, if the actual news release is lower than the forecast, you would have this. If it's higher than the forecast, you would have this. You would have a candle like this. Then you take your profits, you leave a little bit on the table, and you continue trading. And that's how you make massive profits in a short space of time. Then you go about your day and do other things that are important to you. Thank you for your time. Hopefully I've provided value. I'll see you on the profitable side.